Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Host Show. We are your hosts, Wes Troop.
And I'm Emily Liston.
And this week, our main topic of discussion is going to be about a ride that's been around a long time and is always a big favorite for all Disney fans. We're going to be talking about Peter Pan's Flight.
Yay!
One of the most popular rides in Fantasyland in any of the Disney parks is Peter Pan's Flight. Much like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and Snow White's Scary Adventures, the ride was set to be a dark ride. Imagineers wanted Peter Pan's Flight to be different, however, and not be confined to a single track and be in tight closed places. They soon decided to have the ride vehicles fly to make guests feel as if they were flying alongside the characters. Imagineers such as Herb Ryman, Bob Metty, Claude Coates, Marvin Davis, and Ken Anderson worked on the attraction.
Peter Pan's Flight was given a tight deadline to have it open for Disneyland's opening day. Some of the original ideas and scenes for the attraction had to be cut. In October 1954, the Imagineers tested the perfected ride vehicles out in the Special Effects building in the Disney studio. Just 4 months before the park opened, Anderson and Coates were hard at work putting the designs and model sketches and even came up with a few things off the top of their heads. There were 9 miniature pirate ride vehicles and an extra in case of a malfunction with a specific ship ready for the opening.
The original version of the ride saw guests flying through the nursery, over London, seeing sights like Big Ben, through Neverland, and ending up passing through Skull Rock, where the riders saw characters such as Captain Hook, Mr. Smee, and the Crocodile before the end. Peter Pan's Flight was fully up and operational by Disneyland's July 17, 1955 opening day and was an instant classic. It was so popular, it had to be a part of the Walt Disney World project.
The original version of the attraction was supposed to give guests the impression that they were Peter Pan flying around, but most didn't grasp the concept and wonder why Peter Pan wasn't in the ride. The Walt Disney World version took the overall format and theme of the Disneyland ride, but also made some changes as well. This version would include more impressive audio animatronics and new characters including the Lost Boys, Indians and Pirates. Also, Captain Hook was now put right at the crocodile's open mouth. The Walt Disney World version also debuted on opening day of Magic Kingdom in Fantasyland on October 1st, 1971, proving to be just as successful as the California version.
Disneyland made changes to the ride in 1983 and remodeled a few things to keep up with the Florida version. New audio animatronics were added, including Hook and Peter fighting on a ship. Versions of the attraction also opened at Tokyo Disneyland in 1983 and Disneyland Paris in 1990. While it only lasts about 2.5 minutes and always boasts long lines, Peter Pan's Flight is an old favorite and a ride not to be missed. Peter Pan's Flight, always long lines. Probably some of the longest lines in Fantasyland. It's always good to grab a Fast Pass, but now you have to book your Fast Pass Plus, or head right there when the park opens or something if you want to really get on and not wait a half an hour. It's usually half an hour, 45-minute waits, normally. Sometimes 60-minute for literally a 2-minute ride.
I think I've been there before, and it's been like 90 minutes before.
Yeah, it's really long, because the kids love it. But you know, I always go on. I find every vacation I've gone on Peter Pan's Flight. You just have to hit it at the right time, you know, and come back, or book your Fast Pass Plus now. But yeah, definitely check out Peter Pan. I went with my grandma and grandpa last trip, and they had the pass. You know, that she had one of those rolling walkers. So she got. This is before the whole huge controversy thing with the pass. So we're like 3 for Peter Pan, and they put us right in the front. And you should have seen like all the dirty looks we got, because I think it was like a 45-minute wait. They're like, what the heck? But it's like, whatever. I like it though. I mean, it's one of the old school rides, one of the classics. It's nothing, you know, that like is mind blowing, but it's a fun little ride. One
time we went, I think it was for the Halloween. It was empty. Walked straight on it.
Wow.
I wanted it like 3 times in a row. Because why not? So every time I go, we have the disabled pass, because one of my family. And yeah, I queue for it once, I think. So I always get to the front. It's good times. I go on like 3 times every trip. But yeah, I really like it. My favourite bit is when you go, kind of like E.T., but where it goes over, you know, Big Ben and like all the, you know, and then you see the moon and you're like, oh my god, E.T.'s coming, and then it doesn't come, but, you know. Yeah, so I like it when you're on the ship and you go over London and you can see all like little lights and things like that. I think it's really pretty. But how scary is it when you're stepping on and off a boat? Jesus.
I don't think it's that bad.
I'm like, oh my god.
Maybe I just don't remember that.
Because it moves on, like you have to step onto the little escalator thing, travelator, and you have to get on it and then get off. I'm like, Jesus. It does it on the Haunted Mansion as well. I just have a real problem with it.
I know what you mean. Yeah, like the moving sidewalk thing.
Yeah, even though it's going at the same pace as the ride, for some reason my mind freaks out and I can't do it. Like, I look like an idiot. I'm like, guys.
I can't handle Peter Pan! Yeah, I like the part where you fly over London, and because then I can wave to you, and be like, hey, I flew over you.
Oh.
I'm gonna do that in the Disneyland version when I go. I haven't seen the Disneyland version yet, so I'm excited to see that. It's a little bit different than the Disney World, so. But I always like in the Disney World version. I like when you're flying over Neverland. And for like a whole lot of time, you hear "Fire, Mr. Smee! Fire, Mr. Smee!" like 100 times in a row. It's like the same thing over and over and over. And then also at the end, "Mr. Smee, help me! Help me, Mr. Smee! Help me!" It's like the same voice over and over and over. It cracks me up for some reason. They have to ride.
You could,
Now, next time you guys go on that ride, if you didn't notice it, you're gonna notice it now.
Well, I
mentioned it.
You basically just ruined it for a bunch of us.
Fire, Mr. Smee! Those of you who like the little hidden facts in rides, check out the blocks on the floor of the nursery when you first go in, and the blocks on the floor spell P-Pan and Disney. Yeah, West Tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really short. It's not, well, if you've never been, go on it once, obviously, but it's not worth queuing for like an hour.
Don't wait very long. Like I said, come back if it's not long, or do your fast pass for it, but
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely check it out on your.
Yeah, at nighttime, as nighttime approaches as well, usually quietens down.
Yeah, and also, I know what I was gonna say. Don't forget when you're flying out of the nursery to look for Tinkerbell, because literally I only saw my last trip. Because I'm like, Tinkerbell's got to be in this ride somewhere, and I like looked up, I'm like, ah, there she is.
So some recent news is My Magic Plus has begun testing for annual pass holders in the last week. The selected pass holders will be given instructions to make their FastPass Plus reservations and receive a magic band, where they'll only have a certain amount of time to test it out. Pass holders get the 3 attraction reservations per day, much like resort guests, but they can only use 7 days worth during the 60-day period.
So the pass holders have like limited days they can use their FastPass Plus. So they can't come, every day and be like, I want my FastPass now. Yeah, 7 days worth in it. Huh?
That would be me.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I didn't get Space Mountain today. Get it tomorrow, But, yeah, you only have 7 days in a 60-day period. And then once you use one, another one pops up later. So, it keeps going, but it seems like this whole FastPass Plus thing is going to be a big pain. That's what it seems like to me, for everybody, because than what the original FastPass was. But that is technology moves on.
It might fail.
Huh?
It might crash and burn. You don't know.
Yeah, it might. It might be like it could be like Skynet and take over the world. But
Skynet.
Magic bands are gonna take over the world.
Secretly Skynet. It's.
And hopefully, when we have our friend Mandy on here, because she's an annual pass holder.
I love Mandy.
Shout out to Mandy. Right. So yeah, hopefully she'll come on and tell us how it works out for her and stuff. The floats for the upcoming Festival of Fantasy Parade arrived at the Magic Kingdom. Some of the floats include the Maleficent Dragon we spoke about before, a Fantasia one with the hippos in tutus on it, a Scottish bagpipe-looking Brave float, as well as Tangled, Little Mermaid, and a Peter Pan flying pirate ship with Skull Rock on the front and what seems to be a pixie garden on the back. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I was thinking the same for Tangled.
Yeah. Also, due to popular demand, it's rumored Anna and Elsa will be appearing on the Princess Garden float, taking Aurora's spot. So they basically just said, Aurora, you're done.
Why?
You go up in that castle and you sleep, Aurora, because Anna and Elsa are bringing us in lots of cash.
Well, why are they getting rid of Sleeping Beauty? Why are they not getting rid of, like, Cinderella? No, not Cinderella. Sorry, Snow White.
That's actually what I was thinking. I would have, maybe because of the Seven Dwarfs Mine Coaster, but oh.
God's sake! I hate Brave as well.
But yeah, I'll be excited to see the new floats. I know, like, the Celebrate the Dream Come True parade seemed like it was about time to go, because I've seen it like a bunch of times. So, but I literally think there should probably be a new parade every year. But I guess with costs of the floats and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was time for a new parade, and I'll be glad to see the new what new stuff they have with this one.
I'm really looking forward to Maleficent and Rapunzel, because they're my favourite. Exciting stuff. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'm annoyed that Aurora's not there, because I love Aurora. And I don't understand why she's not there if Maleficent's there. Maybe they're going to put her with it?
Maybe they'll have her walking along with the dragon.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, because otherwise what's the point?
Maybe that's why they threw her off.
And also, Elsa isn't a princess, so why is she on the...
Miss Technicality here. No, yeah. She's better than a princess. She's a queen. Oh.
The princess float.
You can call her Queen Bee.
I nearly just killed myself.
So, and some interesting rumors. There's rumors swarming around the interwebs this week about Push the talking trash can no longer being around in Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom. For those who don't know, Push is a moving, talking, controlled trash can that cracks jokes and entertains guests. A contract dispute is the rumored reason between Disney and the man who created Push. Fans have taken to social media to try to save the park icon with a hashtag #SavePush and a Facebook page that obviously you can like. I have to go over and like it. Yeah, I like Push the talking trash can. I had heard about him before. I only had ever seen him on my last trip. And I just caught him out of the corner of my eye. I just see this trash can move, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Push! And I quickly had to take out my video camera, and luckily I got him walking down, like, the Tomorrowland way thing. But, have you ever seen Push?
It's funny, because I've been a lot of times, and I've only seen him once, and I think it was the first time I ever went, back in 2000.
Wow, that's weird. You saw him your first time, and I saw him my last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun to see him. You know, it's like a fun little hidden thing for fans of the Disney parks that don't know it. Because a lot of people are surprised when they see him the first time. But for those that go more often, you know he's around, and then you'll be like, hey, there he is. You know, it'll be sad not to see him running around, or to keep a lookout for him if this is true. We don't know 100%, but we here at the Hitchhiking hosts, just in case the rumors are true, we made up a little bit of a memoriam video for Push.
From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land.
Epcot's International Flower and Garden Festival will return on the 5th of March to the 8th of May. There will be new topiaries on display like Kermit and Miss Piggy, as well as stars from the HGTV network appearing. Bands such as the Guess Who, the Alan Parsons Project and the Village People will play as well for the Flower Power concert series. And Tinkerbell's Butterfly Garden and the Outdoor Kitchens will also be back. I've been when I've seen Lion King. When they did a Lion King one, and I've seen Beauty and the Beast one. It's really nice. It's really cool. They had a whole thing outside the front of Epcot, like Tinkerbell. Did you see that one?
Yep.
Did you go to it then?
Yeah, I went 2011. I was at the Flower and Garden Festival. Knowing me, I'm just like, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. But I actually really enjoyed it. And I took video of like almost all the topiaries. They had Stitch at Mission Space, which is like the best part of that ride. They had all the different countries. They had Peter Pan, and that in the England pavilion, the UK pavilion, sorry. The Sleeping Beauty in France, Lion King in whatever that little Africa outpost section is. I'm like, what is this? When I got to it, I feel like I'm in the Animal Kingdom. And just like real cool stuff. It's interesting to see.
When I went one time, they had if you're in Living Sea-ish, or like kind of from the audience, and there's like a path, and it goes round, and then it takes you to the world.
Right. Yeah.
World Showcase.
World Showcase. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to go one year. We were going through it, and they had a glass house over the path, and there was no other way round unless you went back and then all the way. And inside the glass house was butterflies, really big ones.
Yeah, that's the Tinkerbell's Butterfly Garden.
Yeah. Okay, well there you go.
It might have been called something different because it was Dandy.
Yeah, it wasn't called that. Yeah. Well, basically, I'm terrified of butterflies. Petrified.
Why are you terrified of butterflies?
It's worse than a spider. No, spider equal. Butterflies and spiders equal. It was horrible. I couldn't walk through it fast enough because everyone was like, oh, look at the beautiful. I was like, oh my god, get out of my way. I was like focusing on the door. And my sister was like, look, it's massive. No, it's right there. I was like, ah. Terrifying. It's gross. It was creepy. I hated it. Yeah.
You are an interesting person.
I don't like bugs at all, ever. Any bug. Even butterflies. Especially when they're massive.
Yeah, that's why you don't like it tough to be a bug, I assume.
I hate It's Tough to Be a Bug. I'm so scared. I cry all the time. Ooh.
I can't wait to talk about that on here.
Ooh, I hate it so much. A couple of weekends ago, Universal did Universal Celebration of Harry Potter. And it's basically question answers with the stars from the movie, where they told fun stories about the films. There was presentations about the new Diagon Alley section, a one combat demo with the choreographer Paul Harris, and a special warm version of Butterbeer was there also, which would have been weird, I think. But it was all over Twitter. I was following it. I know a lot of people were following it. I was really upset.
I wasn't.
Wes hates Harry Potter.
I don't hate it. How many times do we have to go over this? I don't hate it.
Wes despises Harry Potter. Everyone should unfollow him.
No, I just got my 600.
I'm joking. Yeah, it was huge and it was a good success. It was a great success, and yeah, I was very jealous.
Yeah, we could have combated wands with each other.
We could have.
Do you know how ridiculous that would have been? You would have taken it. You would have been so serious about it, I think, and I just would have been like goofing off.
I would have been like, Wesley, stop misbehaving. This is the best moment of my life.
Also this week, 8 Disney hotels and resorts were named Silver Badge winners by U.S. News and World Report. The 6 Walt Disney World hotels include Animal Kingdom Lodge, which we just talked about in detail with our buddy Safari Mike the other week. The Beach Club Resort, which I've been at, awesome. Boardwalk Inn, which is also awesome. The Grand Floridian, obviously. Wilderness Lodge, which I've actually stayed at. And the Yacht Club, which I've been at as well as Disney's Grand Californian Resort, which I'll be seeing in a few months. Aulani in Hawaii, their big resort in Hawaii. Yeah, definitely all deserving. They're all great hotels. Mel, have you seen any of these?
I've been to Boardwalk once. I just went in and walked the boardwalk. There was a wedding there as well. Yeah, there was a wedding there. It was really nice. They walked past us when we were coming into it. It was really cute. But yeah, it's really nice, really peaceful there. I enjoy the TVs in the bathroom of the sports bar. Yeah, it's really, really nice. I'd love to stay there, but obviously too expensive for me. And I've been to the Grand Floridian a bunch of times because I always go to the character breakfast there. So I've been quite a lot of times to the Grand Floridian. I really like it there as well.
I'm surprised Polynesian's not on there, but whatevs.
Yeah, Pixar.
Pixar?
What's it called? The Art of Animation Hotel.
Well, that's probably because that's more of a value resort.
I don't
These
know.
are the more fancier, swankier hotels.
Swankier?
Yes.
Ah, dear. Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. Also, we wanted to give a shout out to our buddies Josh Taylor and Angie Carrero, who are on Modern Mouse Radio. Came up with a new comic strip this week. It's going to be different things all the time. It's a comic book idea from the Animal Kingdom, Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama. It's a Chester and Hester comic. So that's pretty awesome. I looked at it yesterday. Really cool. It's available on their website, modernmouseradio.com. So, Emily, you want to let everyone know where they can find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's @EL5AME. And that's it for me.
And of course, for me, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, youtube.com/westside515. Subscribe to our YouTube page that you're probably watching this on, youtube.com/hitchhostshow. Follow me on Twitter @WesAList. And then, of course, there's our Hitchhiking Host stuff. at HitchHostShow on Twitter. Follow us there. And you can like us, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. All right, until next time, don't forget to...
Hurry back, hurry back.
for our next episode.
See you next week. I don't have a skull. Or bones.